Welcome to LA Radio Sessions. I'm your host, Mike Stark. LA Radio Sessions, it's where we explore all areas of pop culture. All right, welcome to LA Radio Sessions, and joining me are a couple of old friends. We've done two of these before, and always on Zoom. I never get to actually see you guys. We've got Rex and Christina of the Armoires, who are also the owners and operators of Big Stir Records. And we're going to talk about Big Stir at the end, but there's a new album from the Armoires, and we're going to talk about that. How you guys doing?
We're doing well.
We're doing great.
Thank you for having us on, Mike.
So much. And I think we're about to fix that not having met in person thing.
Yes, we are.
We look forward to that.
Later today, right next to the radio station at the Secret Island, you guys are going to be doing an album release party. So I'm going to pack up here, and then I'm going to go right around the corner and see you guys there. So if you can join us, please, if you're in the Long Beach area, join us down there. It's a free event, right?
It is a free event, yes.
And you'll get to hear the entire album.
Yeah.
And watch lots of videos.
Yeah, and hear a live panel discussion with us answering all the hard-hitting questions that you're about to ask us anyway. So, I mean, that part you can skip because Mike will have covered it all.
Well, I was going to say, you guys cover it pretty well yourself on social media with the Facebook daily digests that you do on the Armoires page. It's amazing, and it's fun, too. And you answer a lot of questions about the album and about the particular songs. How important is social media to promoting a new album?
Well, we couldn't do it without social media. We're a grassroots organization, so we have to get the word out somehow. And social media is pretty much the way you do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of advertising that happens, and being the band and the label at the same time, it's all kind of intertwined. Yeah, getting directly to the music fans where they are. The videos that you're mentioning, those are there on it's called the Octoberland Daily Dispatch. And it's every day. It's a very short video. It's like the kind of stuff you can find on TikTok. And in fact, you can find it on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. It'll be a personalized thing with one or another or various combinations of the band answering the question in an entertaining context,
along with special guests.
Yeah, there's a lot of guests that show up. And
so if you haven't checked out the Armoires Facebook page, do that right now. And then I'll also tell you that we did interviews before. We did one about Big Stir Records, and then we did one about, I think was Incognito your last album?
It was the third album, and this is the fourth album. Yes.
Okay, so I'm not that far behind then. So we did a thing on the Incognito album a couple years ago, and those are going to be on the LA Radio Sessions Facebook page. So
I would say, Mike, your talk with us about the kind of crazy, mysterious project of the Incognito album. Our interview with you was the definitive statement on that record. I think we, you took out all of the strange little details, and it stands as the final word.
Well, I do remember that I kind of blew part of the PR campaign because I revealed something that I shouldn't. I don't remember the exact details, but I said some stuff I shouldn't have said because I knew it ahead of time. But I'm glad it worked out.
No, that was part of it too. I mean, that indicated that something was afoot. For the folks that don't know, I mean, definitely check out Mike's replay of it. But that album was a collection of 7 different singles that the Armoires did under fake band names.
False identity.
And hence Incognito. See,
right.
And for people like you were one of the very few who were aware that all those bands were actually us. And we kind of liked it when people blew it. It was like just a little signal that, wait, is something going on here? So that was, if anything, part of the strategy. It was a lot of fun, that one.
So I think you see as a listener that what these people do is a little off kilter from all other record labels. And that's why I love these guys. Let's talk about the new album, Octoberland. And in a minute, I'm going to ask you to pick a favorite cut. But because this is my show,
Right.
I'm going to pick two cuts. And the first cut I'm going to talk about is the leadoff track, which is We Absolutely Mean It.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, that's like, I mean, you guys talked about it in your press stuff about it being, hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
Right.
Mhm.
But to me, it's Sergeant Pepper.
That's accurate
yeah.
too. Yes.
Yeah, it's like Sergeant Pepper starting the album off, telling you what's going to happening down the line. And plus, it's a great, great pop song.
Thank you.
Tell me more about that song.
Our manifesto.
Yeah, it is a manifesto. It is a theme song, and it's a statement of intent. It kind of we released that as a single on the 10th anniversary of the band, and the album itself is supposed to have a sort of heightened, gutsy, sort of ballsy kind of feel to it.
Which is what sfacciata, which we say at the end, actually means. It means ballsy.
Why not? We decided there were some areas that when we wrote this record, and Christina and I wrote this whole thing together in about a month and a half, literally 2 years ago. we wanted it all to be,
Of
you
a
know,
piece.
of a piece, like not, I mean, like, nobody wants to say concept album, nobody wants to say song cycle, but kind of anyway, and we decided that we really felt like we understood the identity, the quirks, the best things that this band could do in its unique kind of lineup, which is we sing together the whole time. It's a man and a woman.
We album. It's a collective.
Right.
And we thought we'd, kind of introduce ourselves as a bit of a Greek chorus at the beginning of this thing. That we're going to be your guides to the destination that gives the album its title,
Octoberland.
And so we
weave little things in and out of the fabric, motifs and myths and legends and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But we also have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean, one of my favorite things about that song is that it's absolutely tongue in cheek. I mean, we definitely do say crazy little things like, we refer to stuff like recommended if you like, which is, such industry speak.
Right.
RAYL. Yeah. And kind of poke fun at our own genre and little things like that. And we go on this sort of, spoken word, what we call the rant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's obviously absurd, but we actually also mean it. We do absolutely mean it. And because
absolutely.
One of the things we love about rock and roll is that, if you can't embrace the fundamental absurdity of it, you're missing half the point and all the fun.
Absolutely. And all of this on this song and throughout the album is sewn together by amazing harmonies. That's what you guys are really known for. You work very hard at that, I take it.
Yeah, we do.
We
actually learned a lot from our work on Incognito in that respect too.
We did. Yeah.
We taught ourselves some techniques we didn't know we were missing.
And I think we also got so deep into that we made it part of the songwriting on this one. We've been talking a lot about how almost all the songs are either sung from or turn into a we perspective. And we just started to think, not only is that what we sound like, but that's our perspective. We say that and we absolutely mean it. It's not a single point of view, it's a collective. And by the fact that you walk into the room and see us there, and it's already, a very tight collaboration between, a man and a woman to begin with, and the rest of the band as well. This sort of unique sound that we have. We decided that we're going to sing and write it all as a we instead of an I, and give it a different texture that way. And it may only work subconsciously, but we think it's real.
Yeah, and the ambiguous androgyny.
Yeah, nobody knows which one of us is singing which part.
Right.
So, and we kind of like it that way, and we will play with it. We will play with it.
That's great. Well, I'm going to have another pick, but I'm going to let you guys each pick a song off the album that might be a favorite of yours. And I know that's a tough thing for an artist to do because you love them all, right? It's like your children.
We do, especially this bunch. All of these kids did well for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they did too. But I'm gonna pin you down. So Rex, I'll let you go first.
It's hard for me to get away from this one. It's as we're speaking, it's the current single, and it's a song called Ridley and Me After the Apocalypse.
need some kind of your Jimbo figure to teach fighting skills to the tribe. Training montage, transformation sequence, magical system, oddly specific weakness, character development, character design, liminal spaces, liminal times. And times are so boring. Let's pick up the plot threads that we've been ignoring. Ridley and me, after the APOCALYPSC. World building, literally, fighting for the future of the aristocracy. Character development, character design, liminal spaces or liminal times. Character development, character development, character development, character
is what you are in the dark.
And the Ridley of the title is my daughter, Ridley Broom, who did the design work for not just the album, but all of the singles that are related to the album and set this really beautiful. I mean, I'm obviously, as a proud dad, I'm bragging about this all over the place. But if you didn't know this, you would not think this was someone's kid set loose on a project to save some money. It's beautiful Art Nouveau drenched stuff that was, the look, the aesthetic of all the artwork has to do with this sort of timeless vibe that we're going for on the record.
Right.
In this song, Ridley and Me, After the Apocalypse, it's kind of one of the keystones of the album because we do a lot of storytelling and we talk a lot about the storytelling. We talk a lot about myths and folklore. There's all this stuff. I feel like it's kind of, we're writing in that sort of, Robbie Robertson mythology realm a lot.
Right.
And in that song, it taps into these conversations that Ridley and I have with each other, and then Christina and I have these kind of conversations too. And we just like this is a cross-generational thing. We talk about Larissa and her boyfriend. We talk with them about it too, where we really, if we're watching, we watch a lot of animated shows, and we get really analytical about the tropes and the story, the way the story unfolds. So the Ridley and Me as a song is about, we're in an actual apocalypse. Like we're in one of these sort of fantasy science fiction adventures. And as we navigate it, we think our way through it by falling back on, well, what would happen if this was, the part of the show where we, get the found family together, or we have to teach the villagers how to defend themselves against the raiders, and we just have a lot of fun with it. It's ridiculous. It's really, really catchy, and
It's a story within a story.
and within a story again, because the album itself is like a whole story.
Right.
Right.
Of course.
And people are already picking up on the fact that the hook of the song is that it's a spell along chorus, and the word that we're spelling is
Apocalypse.
yeah. So so it's kind of our little challenge to the listeners: sing and spell along as fast as we can. It says Ridley and Me after the APOCALYPSC.
Oh, okay. Very good.
It's a rhythm.
Very good. Now, anybody that heard our first interview about Big Stir Records knows that this is a family operation. So obviously this is part of that in the design of the record label and all of that.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And it's mentioned a few times as well.
Family and community.
Yeah, and then it's extended family. It'll come up later, but Michael Simmons lives in Long Beach, local guy.
Sparkle Jet
UK, produced this record and just dialed into that family vibe and that collaborative thing. I would say he even has a hand in the visual development as well. And we can't say enough about how much he brought to it.
We always call him a genius because he is.
He's a musical genius.
Not just a musical genius.
No, he actually, that's true.
Genius.
That's true. He has a genius that goes beyond just the musical, but he's definitely a musical genius.
Will he be there later today?
Oh, yes. He has much to answer for.
Yes, he does. Okay, Christina.
Well, which
Exactly.
one are you
You know what? It's you.
Wait a minute. Yeah, see, Rex is trying to use some influence here. It's got to be her pick, Rex.
Mhm.
All right. You know what? Can I do that one?
Sure. Yeah.
We're
that's
going to
a
do
good
Green Hellfire at the 7-Eleven.
Great title.
True story.
Tell me about the song.
Well, it was it's a sort of a protest song of sorts, but trying to make sense of the world. It was something that Rex and his kid Miranda experienced at the parking lot of a 7-Eleven on a certain momentous day back in 2016.
So I guess it was 2016. Yeah. 2016. Yeah.
And there was a green hellfire that they heard and saw.
There are some dark undercurrents because we deal with some hard truths about the world, and the thing that bothers us the most is self-involvement, people not being able to communicate because they're too dug into their own points of view, and
then it just flips into this catchy chorus, so
Yeah.
you can deal with it.
And I've kind of started describing it as like, lyrically, it's kind of like a lost trove of like Leonard Cohen songs or something like that. But in its presentation, it's like a B-52's party record,
Right.
There you go.
which we like. So yeah, there are a lot of silly gambits like the countdown in this song.
It mentions the October surprise.
Yeah. And it is written from, it was again a thing that myself and my kid Miranda experienced, in real time.
Right.
And to be really explicit about it, it was the night the 45th president was elected, and Miranda at the time was just shy of voting age. So we had some concerns. We were a little bit shell shocked. We were I was picking them up from school, and we stopped at a 7-Eleven, and a transformer exploded. So there was this giant green explosion. And we sort of, maybe unreasonably at the time, thought, oh, the revolution has begun. And,
This is the omen.
This is the omen.
Wow.
And we literally fled the scene. I mean, because it was obviously something kind of bad, and then tried to convince ourselves for the next 4 years that it wasn't as bad as we thought. And then in the end, it was pretty much exactly what we expected from that night. It was as if that was the omen. And I wished to present that from the point of view of Miranda, someone who's younger and sharp and kind of a dawning political awareness, looking at me, who's followed it for a long time.
First year they voted, yeah?
They were just shy of being able to vote. So yeah.
Wow.
And needless to say, it's 8 years later, both my kids are voting age now. So.
And here we are again. I'll just leave it at that.
Here we are again. And it is interesting to listen to this song right now because one, it's either going to be a book ending or chapter 3.
Green hellfire at the 7-Eleven, hot on the heels of the October surprise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wasn't just a transformer or an omen in disguise. Emerald explosion, the smell of the ozone, and something else rancid and sick. They let the genie out of the bottle, and man, was that genie a dick. I look to my father, he's frozen in place. I see several decades of dread drain his face. Something wicked is coming, we both start off running and feel the adrenaline kick. Green hellfire at the 7-Eleven, hot on the heels of the October surprise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Was it just a transformer or an omen in disguise? Right on El Paso, he leans on the gas over hills with their spider
Okay, now I want to pick my other song, which I just love. It's one of those fun songs, I think. Here comes the song.
Oh, good.
Yes. Or is it? There is.
Maybe you'll tell me something different.
It is absolutely meant to present itself that way,
Mhm.
but there's a pretty dark undercurrent. In fact, in some ways, it ends on the bleakest note of any song on the album.
I have to re-listen to that now.
The song sits on a throne in the dark. It's the ruler of all it surveys. The song has never been heard in this world, but it's gonna be heard today. The song stands up and takes its first steps. The song fumbles in the black for the door. The song isn't sure it's ready to leave, but it can't stay here anymore. Here comes the song. Just towards Bethlehem, 'cause it's looking for a place to be born. The song is blowing in the wind like a flag that's just been torn. The song beeps down alleys at night, just looking for a head to invade. The song doesn't give a damn who it hurts. The song just wants to be played. Here comes the song. Demon or mathematics, who's to say? Parasite or angel, either way, it's just the song. The song is dangerous, the song is cruel, but it's beautiful to be contained. The song is full of woeful cliches about the summer sky and autumn rain. The song is devious, the song always lies, but the song is made of nothing but truth. The song is older than the goddamn hills, but the song belongs to the youth. Oh, here comes the song. The song came to her in a dream, like a flabbergasted omen of death. The song whispered all the histories of all the things that haven't happened yet. The song pretended to be her friend. Yeah, the song it was a ticket to ride. The song it took her to the stratosphere, but the song it hit her up inside. Oh, here comes the song. Oh, here comes the song.
Sometimes a song looks for a conduit and uses it to its own benefit.
Mm,
Yes. So this is one of these things where we talk to a lot of other songwriters that kind of feel this way too. Sometimes you feel like you're not really writing a song; it's just kind of finding you, and yeah, you're like the conduit for it. And sometimes once the song is out there in the world, people perceive it in a way that's different from what you intended, and that's why people sue political campaigns for using their songs and stuff like that.
right.
We took this to this sort of semi-Faustian place where the song has an intent that may not match up with the songwriter.
Okay.
And I think what happens in this song is that, this song sort of is looking, it's kind of creeping around. It's both beautiful and kind of sinister. It's too beautiful to be contained, but it also doesn't give a damn who it hurts. It just
Right.
wants to be played. It has its own intent. And this probably goes back to Bob Dylan saying a song is anything that walks around on its own. It's something I've always thought.
It's a song personified, basically,
Yeah.
through the imagery, through the artwork.
The sound of this song is like sunshine pop, chamber pop. We were really
Very
proud
much so. Yeah.
of that string arrangement, which was a great collaboration between Larissa and Michael Simmons and myself. We all kind of had a little hand in it, in realizing that. It was realized by Larissa playing first violin, second violin, viola, and then
Wow.
the neighbor here, Jared Jenkins, adding the cello to it.
Yeah.
Um,
We flagged him down one day. Jared, can you bring your cello over and record? Just,
Yeah.
we need a string quartet. And we're
Another
missing
illustration of the community.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is one of those songs. Like before we came on, we had to kind of do a little thing for a different show, another show where we talked about each one of these songs, and we realized over and over again we were saying, if this is a dark song, it's got a note of hope.
Mhm.
Because we together agreed that we have something that's almost there, but we can't leave people in this really dark place. So there's got to be a note of hope to it. Yeah. I mean, this one and the album itself, the sequence of the songs,
It's a journey. It's an emotional journey.
and it's stayed the same since we wrote it. Like, it wasn't one of those things where we were trying to figure out the sequence or we added a new song to it or something like that. While we were writing it, we would be conscious of, well, these images are in this song and they're introduced over in this song. So this one goes after that. And the final expression of that happens in this song. We're leading up to that. So, Christina's, has a background in screenwriting. So she had this, I think, brought this very storyteller arc to the way it was connected. And they stayed the same way the whole time.
Right.
Same sequence the whole time. So, that's why you'll hear imagery. There's lots of cats and snakes and crows that sort of crop up. We use the word omen in at least half the songs.
Yes.
Our own name, the Armoires, we refer to it in a certain way, like 3 or 4 times. And then October and Octoberland.
Right.
Surprise.
So, October Surprise.
We've talked about 4 songs, and there are 11 cuts on the album. We're going to leave it at that. You can come to the listening party later today and hear all of it, right?
Exactly. And streaming everywhere.
It's out October 11th.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. Almost half of the record has been released as singles, and we've tried to present it as an unveiling, along with all of those little personal Daily Dispatch videos. The singles have all been sort of setting the tone.
And the singles can be obtained at Big Stir Records, or where can they get the singles?
BigStirRecords.com or Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, Big Stir
Okay.
Band. They also
Big Stir Records.
are on all the streaming services too. So anyone that dials up the Armoires on Apple Music or Spotify or anything like that, you'll be able to find those as our most recent releases, as long as the album is heading down the line.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to later on today enjoying the listening party next door.
We're looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 big hugs for both of you at that time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and we pass them along to the other 3 members, and we haven't said their names yet, except for Larissa's probably, but
Larissa Bobenko on viola and violin.
John Borak on the drums, another almost local guy, and
Cliff Ulrich on bass.
on the bass. Yeah, so
And they'll all be on hand that later on, right?
They
it
will.
will be. It's been very
Beautiful.
for us that this record is a very band record. I mean, it's everybody contributing. A lot of our other records had a lot of guests, which was one great way to reflect our wider community.
Right.
But this one was very much about our identity as the collective of the 5 of us, plus one, because Simmons had so much of an effect on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
99.1 KLBP LP, Long Beach Public Radio, broadcasting from Shannon's Corner.
Hello, all you alternative music lovers. Join us every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock here on KLBP for Alt Hall Radio. 1 full hour of alternative music in celebration of one specific year in alternative music history. That's Alt Hall Radio, presented by the Alternative Music Hall of Fame. Only here on KLBP.
You're listening to LA Radio Sessions on KLBP, Long Beach Public Radio. My name is Mike Stark. Okay, I'm going to have you take off your band hats now and put on your record label hats. And let's talk a little bit about Big Stir. You've added a bunch of artists since the last time we've talked. I'm going to have you, again, like picking your favorite children, give me a couple, 2 or 3 of the newer artists that have been added to the label and tell me a little bit about them. I would like to talk a little bit about the addition of Graham Parker to your label.
Yes. Yeah, some of our newer artists are some of our older artists. I mean, not by age, but like in terms of career longevity. I mean,
Sure.
Graham Parker and also The Circle, who date back to opening for the Beatles. You know, those were 2. I'm sure Graham would kill us for saying legacy artists. He would never let us hear the end of it. But Graham is such a great guy to work with.
He's a wonderful human, a true gentleman.
Yeah, not only an honor to put out his album, which is truly him in top forms. They're amazing songs on. It's called Last Chance to Learn the Twist. Came out about a year ago.
And his son did the artwork.
His son did the artwork for his album too.
Wow, amazing.
No, he was and remains just an absolute joy to work with. You know, so sometimes it's okay to meet your heroes, guys. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Put feet forward, there's no more turning back. No pearly gates before us, that was written by some hack. No angels singing, no heavenly abode. And the choir got the day off on the last stretch of the road. Who's that man before us, blowing us a kiss? He's swaying with his bottle. He looks quite Brahms and Liszt. He's not a holy figure, they don't even exist. The road comes up before him, last chance to learn the twist. Good things. Why didn't I detox? Why did I wear a sandals with a pair of socks? Why didn't I hold you tighter? Why didn't I love you so? I just didn't see it coming on the last stretch of the road. You don't always see it coming on the last stretch of the road.
As long as you brought them up, The Circle, is it the original members and all?
2 of the original members and a band that they've had backing them up for numerous years, and also some archival vocals. Dan Daneman, founding member, Mike Loskamp, the keyboardist who was with them for most of their 60s run. And yeah, Tom Dawes, some archival vocals allow him to participate as well.
Wow.
And it's a really nice record. It's got a lot of really good response.
It's funny that we bring them up because I just had a conversation today with someone who said to me, The Circle were a one-hit wonder from the 60s or something along those lines. And then now we're talking about them. Let's hope they have another hit.
Absolutely. And they
were a 2-hit wonder at the time.
Red Rubber Ball and what else?
Turn Down Day.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But they still play live. They do cruises and
They
things
did
like that.
Yeah, they did a fun thing too where in that original run, Red Rubber Ball, of course, written by Paul Simon, offered them 59th Street Bridge song as a follow-up, and they turned it down at the time.
Whoops.
So they did a version of that on their new record as well.
Excellent. Okay, let's talk about some of the newer artists.
Yeah.
We should mention the Jack Rubies because that's a pretty cool
Love to mention the Jack Rubies. Yeah.
Now
edition.
they've been around a while too, right?
They were on TVT Records for 2 albums in the late 80s, part of the C86 movement. In this case, all 5 original members started collaborating again over the pandemic. And it's always great. And this is the 3rd example of this.
The album is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's on repeat in my car.
Yeah. It
So-
not only picks up right where that sort of, angular noirish post-punk sound left off in the late 80s, it sounds perfectly modern because that sound has had such a renaissance, but they
Right.
really have super command of it. It's a terrific record. It's called Clocks Are Out of Time.
And all 3 previous albums are now on streaming services. We got them distribution.
Yeah, we ended up being able to get the
great.
rights to their old records, so their full catalog is out there under the auspices of Big Stir Records. Some of this
Beautiful.
stuff that we're talking about is hard for me to believe. Like
yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that this was where we would be. Even the last time we talked to you, we'd be talking about these kinds of artists. There's still a lot of really cool things developing. We've been super excited at the thematic or the kind of like link that's going to exist between our record and the next one that's coming out, which is the
Librarians with Hickeys.
3rd album from Librarians with Hickeys. We've done all of them. We did their first album and the second one. They're from Ohio and very much in that jangly side of power pop, 80s college rock kind of zone that we feel such a kinship for. And we've been sort of like, hopefully we'll do as well as we can with the Armoires record. And then it gets followed up by
The Librarians with Hickeys.
Yeah, it's called in the record, which is this is an exclusive announcement, I guess. I don't think it will have even been quite publicly announced by the time this show goes up. It's called How to Make Friends by Telephone.
Mhm. And the first single that's out is Hello Operator.
Yeah.
Say when they talk to you
be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or call your operator to help you.
Much like our record, and also our friends from Hungrytown, the sort of Vermont indie folk duo that we put out their record earlier this year, which is a great record. There seems to be, like, as much as albums are sort of taking a backseat to singles in the streaming world, everyone that we're working with seems to be dialing into this idea that the albums themselves are world building, and creating their own time and space and themes, which we think has been a little lacking. And as long as the songs also stand on their own, because all the bands we're talking about have had really successful singles, there's something really special about the time and space that's carved out by Librarians with Hickeys on that album, and absolutely the same thing with Hungrytown and Jack Ruby's. I mean, we're really, as much as we're trying to tap into new ways of getting music out there, that idea of an album is just sort of always going to be really key to us. If we only have time to talk about one more band from this year's roster, it is absolutely got to be Sparkle Jets UK.
Sparkle Jets UK. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Amazing album.
This one, we did a double album of them doing covers last year. But it was a unique album.
Best of Friends, right? They were covering people from the scene, the LA music scene that they played on stage with, or.
So yeah, it wasn't like, classics. It was their friends material from the sort of height of that sort of LA pop scene around the turn of the century. So that was a terrific introduction for them. It put a lot of other artists in the spotlight that hadn't been for a while, and it was also a good way to get them back on the scene themselves with an album that had been about 20 years in gestating in this new one. Wow. And this one is their first new album of originals for all that time.
It's a lot of people's summer favorite.
Wonderful to watch how many people connected with this record. It's called Box of Letters. It needed to be acknowledged that it was this long gestating album, but if you hadn't said that, you would never know it because it seemed so
fresh.
Fresh is the word. Yeah.
Excellent. Why don't you give me a cut off that album, and I'll use that to take us out.
The title track, Box of Letters.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, Box of Letters. I want to thank you guys again, and hopefully we can hook up down the line. Once this release is out and all of that, you'll be back being record company executives.
Once all this nonsense is over with, and you can stop pretending to be a band, and go back to the desk job like you're supposed to.
That's right, the day job. Yeah. But we can talk about your other artists a lot more on the next episode that we get together.
I mean, it's been an incredible the process that we're in the middle of at being artists on our own label, so double, triple duty or something like that, has been arduous but really rewarding, because we've been able to, do things that we've seen other artists doing well, and avoid things that we've seen other artists not doing so well.
Right.
It's been really gratifying. It's really challenging.
Yeah.
And I won't mind sitting here talking about someone else's record and not having to feel self-conscious about it.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us. And we're going to leave you with, who are we leaving them with?
Sparkle Jets UK.
Box of Letters.
The title track from the new album, out now on vinyl, CD, and streaming from Big Stir Records.
It was a long, long time when the story started. Way back, I remember you would drive downtown just to come and see me. Do letters from you. And they said that you would always be true. Why don't you look around and see if there's a box of letters for me? And when I got to the bottom, I found the things most precious to me: a matchbook, a flower, and a napkin of embarrassing poetry. I found a box of letters from you. They said that you would always be true. Why don't you look around and see if there's a box of letters for me? And when you find those letters for me, I hope you're what you want them to be. And if they fall short of your desire, maybe you should set them on fire.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of LA Radio Sessions. We'd love to hear from you about what you think of the show. You can join the conversation on our Facebook page at facebook.com/LA Radio Sessions or visit laradiosessions.com. Stay tuned, more to come.